So Danny, let's first reflect on Tuesday night, a 4-0 loss away at West Brom. Although it's probably a disappointing result, you can't moan too much, you just got to lick your wounds and go again.
Yeah, I think we've given the supporters with Anstey, which was like a potential banana skin, which we overcome and was on the telly, which was great. Then we had two higher opposition teams, beat them, nearly beat a championship team here. So we've got some good memories. I don't think the other night will live long in anyone's memory, really, because we didn't win, didn't play fantastic, conceded poor goals. And, it was only really our fans making the atmosphere, I felt. So, yeah, that won't live long in people's memories, but the home game will. And let's get it right. It's all about getting promotion, and that's the aim. And if we do that, then I'm sure everyone will forget about the West Brom away game.
What was the feeling like in the dressing room afterwards?
A bit flat. Yeah, manager was disappointed with the goals and certain aspects of the performance. I suppose that shows how far we've come, really, that we're disappointed to lose at West Brom, and considering they didn't really carve us open. So that shows that we weren't just there for a day out. As the supporters showed as well, they all turned up. They expected us to win, and so did we. And so did we. So it's important now that we go into Notts County, learn from the mistakes we made at West Brom. Don't put it completely to bed. Put the result to bed, and make sure we give Notts County a hell of a game.
And I think the general consensus after the game was that we matched West Brom, man for man for the first 45 minutes, and for most of the second half, it was just silly individual mistakes. But can the boys take confidence from the fact that they matched a championship side into Saturday? Yeah,
and I think beyond that, Brom, it's more a fact of the mistakes that were made. Sometimes you need to make the mistake to not make it again, without sounding, too cringy with it all. It's one of them that if you don't make a mistake when you first make it, it can cost you a game. I think the other night we made a few individual mistakes and team mistakes, and it cost us a few goals. And now those lads know that if they're in that position again, they don't do that, or they mark that person, or they track that runner, etc., etc. So it's always a cliche of mine: make a mistake, but don't make the same mistake twice, or else you're not listening. So hopefully the boys have learnt. It's a positive, and it's better to make those mistakes in a cup game than a league game.
And on to Saturday then, is it a 6-pointer?
No, but you can't lie. If they win, the gap gets bigger. That's the facts. And if we win, it gets closer with some games in hand. So both teams will benefit massively from the result if it favours them. So you can't turn around and say, oh well, it's just another game. We won't approach it any different to say Altrincham on Tuesday night. But we know if we win, it'll give everyone a lift going into Tuesday.
What do you expect Notts County to bring to the Technique Stadium?
Good, attractive football, a winning mentality, a team set up very well by the manager. But all of those things I think we've got. That if we win our games in hand, the table looks very different. But before we do that, we've got to try and beat the initial rivals, which is Notts County.
Football's all about momentum, isn't it? And the momentum that we gain just from beating a local rival, not necessarily a derby, but a local rival, beating them top of the league, to overcome them and beat them at home in front of potentially 9,000 plus Sparrows, it would give us that momentum to hopefully kick on and keep going.
You remember the atmosphere against Wrexham here, and then the West Brom here, and even when we, as I said the other day, when we play teams that don't bring many supports, the atmosphere's always rocking, isn't it? But that sometimes needs to be generated by us. Supporters come and they get behind us, but they also come to see wins and exciting football, and we've got to give them that from the first whistle, because Notts County will certainly try and give their travelling fans that excitement from the first whistle. So we've got to match them and more, and hopefully get the result. And
the big question online is, how are the Sparrites going to stop Macaulay Langstaff?
Yeah, well, listen, we had it with Cabs last year, where you're scoring nearly a goal a game virtually. So it's a big reason why they're up top of the league, but we've got very, very capable defenders, and we've got very capable attackers that have caused them problems as well.
Obviously, pretty much heading towards a sellout crowd as we speak. It's going to be another one, isn't it? It's going to be an incredible atmosphere. A local rivalry, it just adds that extra bit of spice to the game.
It does, yeah, and it's a bit later, so everyone gets a bit more time to get ready for the game, and it's on telly, cameras will be out. So it's a real good atmosphere, and it's not, let's get it right, it's not a National League fixture, but the standings don't lie, and we're both in the National League for whatever reason in the past, so it's up to us to get ourselves out of it, but we're not the only team looking for that ambition, sadly.
And what's the team news going into the game?
Fully fit so far. We had a bit of an illness bug building up to West Brom. Luckily, that's been cleared. Light training today and a full squad to choose from tomorrow.
And then just finally, I just want to ask if the gaffer and yourselves, do you get more up for a game like this where there's the rivalry involved? Does it almost help you? When you wake up in the morning, you're more looking forward to the game because of the sort of spice added on top?
I think we're lucky here that whenever we turn up, there's at least 6,000 home fans, whatever the away fans bring, and that generates a lot of noise. I suppose when you've got 1,800 away fans, it adds a bit more spice to the fixture, so that even in the warm-up, the atmosphere is bubbling, and as a player, you'd rather that, than playing for. We're very lucky, some teams in this league play in front of like 1,200 people every week, and that's nothing against that, but you know, our players are lucky that they've got those supporters to cheer them on, as are Notts County, by the way. So we're two big clubs for this level. We're going to be a massive, massive crowd, and yeah, the excitement level will go up a little bit.